G'day all. I'm going to just have a little chat about the Chiapa Little Badger and the M6 survival rifle, or X caliber survival rifle, and rimfire cartridges in general, as like survival, preppery, homestead, garden-y sort of, just a good little firearm, especially for over in this country here. So first of all, 22 LR, 22 Magnum, great versatile cartridges, lightweight, no recoil, very little noise. You can buy subsonics for both 22 Magnum and 22 LR. 22 LR by far is a lot cheaper, way more options, ammunition, and a variety of different types. But where I think the 22 LR really shines is in the cost effectiveness and the subsonic availability. Whether that's suppressed in America and everywhere else where you're allowed to have it, or over here where you're not allowed suppressors, just subsonics are pretty damn good, you know. And they can do everything, you know. I've taken heaps of rabbits, hares, and other small game, foxes, etc. with subsonic 22s, all headshots, even out to 100 meters. Easy if you know, if you can place your projectile in the right spot, it'll do the job. Pop out the eyes, doesn't do a lot of damage, but through the head, yep, it'll take the brain out. It's got enough power to pop out the eyes as well, so it does the job. 22 LR with high velocities, it just does that little bit more damage. And again, you know, 100 meters on the smaller stuff. Body shots on rabbits and things, that's fine. On the bigger game, you know, like, or the bigger pests like your foxes and things, and even hares, they're surprisingly tough little animals. So, you know, 50 meters, maybe a little bit more, is about as far as you want to go on a body shot, and then headshots as far as your rifle's accurate and you're capable, you know. 22 Magnums, that's my personal favorite. I find it's very, very versatile. Not that the 22 rimfire can't do the job that the 22 Magnum can do. The 22 Magnum can do everything the 22 LR can do, but it has more punch when you need it. So after going on lots of different properties, time and time again, the property owners, a lot of them had 22 Magnum. So this is also going back from when I was a teenager up until, like, you know, the last 5-7 years. Probably the 223 has now taken over, but a lot of farmers back in the day used to use the 22 Magnum because it did the job that little bit better than the 22. And even if a pig or something else jumped up, just had that little bit more power to, you know, give a more lethal sort of shot and a more humane sort of, and guaranteed sort of kill, whether it's a sick beast, cow, horse, you know, whatever, a sheep stuck in the mud. You know, a lot of farmers aren't gunheads, a lot of farmers aren't crack shots, they're just, a firearm is just another tool that they use. So I guess they could probably just put a little bit more power in a shot to put something down if they had to use range, you know. So anyway, that's what got me onto the 22 Magnum. And then since having a 22 Magnum, I've probably taken more game or more pests with the 22 Magnum than anything else. I've taken pigs, goats, a red deer, foxes, rabbits, cats, hares, etc. All of that sort of stuff. Haven't taken a dog with it, but it'd definitely take care of a dog. It's definitely not recommended as a medium to large game hunting cartridge. However, it's one of those things where when I go walking, when I've been walking from camp, expecting nothing but foxes, rabbits, hares, feral cats, etc. When I've got a little 22 or a rimfire in my hand, that's when the pig's going to jump up. Same with my red deer that I took. Didn't even expect to see a red deer, it just happened to be there. And one shot to the neck, the deer was down, fatally wounded, it couldn't get to its feet. I quickly ran over, put another one in its brain, and it was taken care of. So we got heaps of meat from that. That was my first deer that I ever shot, actually. And little 22 Magnum done the job, no drama. Same with the pigs and goats. Goats, no drama at all. Pigs, obviously, it's shot placement. But again, everything comes down to shot placement. So, little badger. I really, lots of people love the little badger as survival rifles, etc. And a friend of mine, he got one as his little survival sort of rifle around the sort of hobby farm. He just wanted a 22. So that's what he got, mainly for shooting subsonics on a small little property, 10 acres or smaller, and using cheap subsonic ammo. So after using that, and I've shot another friend's, they had the M6, the 22 with the 12 gauge combination, and then it also had some, you could buy the chamber inserts to shoot other calibers, 357 Magnum, 9mm, etc., 14 gauge shotgun, etc. Now, I found that I didn't like that combination. It was too lightweight for the 12 gauge, in my opinion. It was having all those Picatinny rails and things like that on there, and it's got like it's got a flat wire frame that's got foam inserts in it, and those corners are quite sharp, and it's just not a comfortable thing to fire, and it's actually quite heavy for what it is. And then if you lug around those chamber inserts are heavy too. Okay, you've got to think, you've got a 12 gauge diameter and you're necking it down, or you're necking that down to a sub caliber 9mm 357 Magnum. That's only 9mm. You got big thick chamber walls there, longer than a 12 gauge shotgun shell. So they're actually quite heavy, and if you carry that whole little pack that you can buy that's got like, 6 or 8 different calibers in it, that's a very, very heavy little package on top of a heavy little tiny little gun. And if you're going to carry 12 gauge round ammo plus other ammo around, that just blows it out of the water. To me, that's not a useful survival gun. I get it that, it can fire multiple calibers, and if you're in a end of the world apocalypse scenario sort of thing, and you can come across an old barn or farmhouse and there just happens to be ammo lying around, you might be able to shoot it. I understand that, but the likelihood of that being the scenario that you need a firearm for is extremely small. So I wouldn't put all my hopes and dreams on it. I know the EDC prepping community, and just general tinkering, people in general, we like to play around and we love our gadgets and things like that. But at the end of the day, to get serious, I don't rate 12 gauge as it's a great cartridge if you've got somewhere to, like a house or a barn or a permanent camp. But 12 gauge, the ammo alone for me is the deal breaker. It's too big, too heavy. It's a lot of noise for something that only gives you a bit of range. Yep, you can put solid slugs and buckshot in it. You can, if you're in America or places where there's bears and things like that, yep, can take care of that. Can take care of, two-legged adversaries that might want to spoil your day, steal your food, etc. But as something that you're going to be packing and lugging around, I think for the weight of it, for the noise that comes out of it, and the range, I don't think it's really good enough. That's why I like I think a 22 LR or 22 Magnum sort of comes into it. Gives you further range than a 12 gauge. You can carry a lot of ammo. It's not too loud. Usually the firearms are nice and light, and subsonics are available, and that's what I love about the 22 LR. Subsonics are available cheaply too, and in bulk. The thing I like about the 22 Magnum though, over the 22 LR, is you can shoot 22 LR into a 22 Magnum. And I know a lot of people are going to say that, oh, this will swell, blah blah blah, won't be accurate, etc etc. That is 100% true, okay? But the outside diameter of the 22 LR case is the same diameter as inside diameter as the 22 Magnum unfired. So if you get a fired 22 Magnum case, cut off the rim, grind it off, do whatever you have to, you can now use the body of the 22 Magnum case as a sleeve that you can put, if we're talking single shot rifles here, or any, you can just put the sleeve into the firearm itself and then put the 22 LR behind it. Now that will center your 22 Magnum. It'll stop you from getting bulged cases, and yeah, it'll center your ammo or your projectile into the center of the bore. Yeah, there's still going to be a bit of a jump in the land sort of section until it hits the rifling, but you're going to be way better off than if this was just sitting loosely. So having a 22 Magnum, you can buy subsonics. You can have loaded ammo from 30 grains up to 50 grains for the high velocity stuff. Then you can also shoot all of the 22 LR stuff inside it as well. So yes, I'm going to put a link in the description of Buffalo Outdoors shooting the Henry smoothbore. Yeah, keep it short, and I'll do a couple more videos more about the 22 Magnum cartridge itself and smoothbore guns. Okay.